This week, a company most people have never heard of became one of the most valuable startups in America. It's called Hadrian, and it builds factories, highly automated ones for missiles, satellites, and rockets. On Thursday, Hadrian raised $1.37 billion in a single round. The deal values the whole company at $7.87 billion. It's backed by JPMorgan, Baillie Gifford, and a who's who of Silicon Valley venture capital. And that price is nearly 5 times what Hadrian was worth back in January, just 7 months ago. Which raises one question. Is Hadrian worth $8 billion for what it builds, or for when it's building it? This is the fine print from NoFlow. The pitch here is compelling, and it's worth taking seriously. For decades, America let its factories drift overseas and slowly forgot how to build things at scale. Hadrian's answer is a factory that runs on software and robots, with almost nobody on the floor. It makes the precision parts that go into weapons and spacecraft, and says it makes them 10 times faster than the old way. Its customers include SpaceX and Anduril, 2 of the biggest names in the new defense industry. It's already running 4 factories in California, Arizona, and Alabama. And the founder, Chris Power, wants 10 to 20 of these mega factories across the country. Production is now the front line of deterrence, he says. Given the state of the world, that lands. So investors lined up and handed him one of the largest private funding rounds of the year. Now the fine print. Look at how fast that $8 billion price tag appeared. At the start of this year, Hadrian was valued at about $1.6 billion. 7 months later, it's $7.87 billion, nearly 5 times more, for a company whose factories didn't transform overnight. The size of the raise tells the same story. In its first 5 years, across 4 earlier rounds, Hadrian had raised around $500 million in total. This one round is almost 3 times all of that, $1.37 billion in a single week. Now, this is a real business, and it is growing quickly. It's just starting from a very small base. Forbes estimated Hadrian's revenue at about $3 million in 2023. Sales have climbed fast since then. Even so, a young manufacturer just got priced near $8 billion. So why is the market willing to pay that? The answer has less to do with Hadrian than with everything happening around it. Money is flooding into defense startups. Venture funding for defense tech nearly doubled last year to about $49 billion. Wars in Europe and the Middle East, and a global rush to rearm, turned defense into the hottest corner of tech. The anchor of that whole boom is a company called Anduril. Anduril's valuation roughly doubled this year to $61 billion, with talk of $100. Hadrian supplies Anduril and shares many of its investors. When the anchor gets marked up, everything around it rises too. There's also a plainer reason the number is so big. Factories cost real money. A software startup spends on engineers. Hadrian has to buy buildings, machines, and robots, so $1 billion turns into steel. Now the other side, because there's a real case that $8 billion is fair. The money in this round is patient. Baillie Gifford and T. Rowe Price hold their bets for years, which is a real vote of confidence. The demand is real, too. America can't make enough munitions right now, and fixing that has become a national priority. And the whole bet rests on the automation. If the robots really do work, a factory could earn the fat margins of a software company. Power himself calls it $10 billion or zero. He isn't pretending it's a safe bet. So it comes down to one thing a funding round can't prove. Can Hadrian turn nearly $2 billion and 4 buildings into enough real output to be worth 8? Watch 2 numbers. Whether revenue keeps climbing as the company scales, and whether that $8 billion price holds or turns out to be the top. Because even some of the investors funding this admit the defense boom is starting to look like a bubble. Hadrian is either the company that rebuilt American manufacturing or the high point of a very hot year. That's the fine print. Why your news matters every morning. Free at noflow.io.